Hi, fourth graders. We're going to be doing a lesson this week in grammar that's going to talk to you and teach you about subject verb agreement. And this is a pretty difficult skill for kids, and there are so many rules to know. We're just going to start with some basics this week and kind of build upon things we've learned already. And hopefully, you guys will start writing your sentences with correct subject verb agreement. So we're going to start by looking at this slide that I have pulled up here, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger here so that you guys can see. I have some examples here, and you can see we're going to talk this week about how we write sentences with a singular subject. So the example I have here is Sophia. And sometimes when I come to school, I notice that Sophia walks to school every day. Notice that while Sophia is one person, singular, the verb that we use to write a correct sentence adds an S. Sophia walks. Now, if it would be a plural subject, that means there would be more than one subject. For example, Rashad and Xander, you can see the verb here, ride, does not have an S. So it's Rashad and Xander ride the bus to school. Now, another thing we're going to talk about this week that gets kind of confusing, mostly because of this big vocabulary word here, it's progressive form. So what that means is that it could be happening in a certain tense. And in this case, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about present tense here. And what I did is I changed this sentence to show that it is happening now in the present. Sophia is walking to school. So notice the verb is not just walking, but you have to have is in front of it to be correct. So you don't say Sophia walking to school, Sophia is walking to school. So in order for it to be correct, you have to have is. Now here the same sentence in progressive form is Rashad and Xander are riding the bus to school. That means that it's happening now. If you look at this first sentence, Rashad and Xander ride the bus to school, that's an assumption that that's what they do every day. Here, it shows present tense. Rashad and Xander are riding the bus to school. Like I said, there are so many rules to learn about subject-verb agreement, but we're going to just start out with some basics this week, and hopefully this will not be too difficult for you all to catch on to. So the first thing you're going to do this week, and this slide is pretty easy. You have some rules up at the top, and this is what I already told you. A singular subject must have a singular verb with a singular third person subject. And remember, we talked about first and third person last week. Remember, first person is I or me, and third person is he or she. So you want to go ahead, or actually it would be a person's name as well, like here, Amir starts a business. You add S or ES to most present tense verbs, okay? If the subject is I, you, a plural noun, or a plural pronoun, do not add S or ES. We start a business, which is basically what I explained in the front, but it's really important to understand. Plural, you do not add an S. Singular, you do. And the ES is when a word ends in like X or CH or SH or some of the rules we've talked about. So let's go ahead and look at this and see what we're going to do. It says, read each sentence. On the line provided, write the correct present tense form of the verb in parentheses. So it says, Miguel blanked the doorbell at his neighbor's house. Now, remember, it's present tense, okay? Hopefully you'll remember that present tense. So in order to do that, you're just going to write in Miguel rings. And I added an S here because Miguel is singular. So hopefully you remember that. Now the next sentence, I'm sorry about these names being pretty challenging here. I never heard of a Shamis and Kim. That's obviously very similar to that first sentence I had on the first slide. Shamis and Kim is plural. So you have your blank twice around the track. So you're going to say Shamis and Kim, and you're not going to add an S, just run. Hopefully that helps you, and I gave you the first two answers, so nobody should make mistakes there. I'm going to take them away now before I actually share it with you on Google Classroom. Okay, the next slide here It goes into a little bit more detail. And what it asks you to do is it says circle the present tense verbs in each sentence. Should be super easy. Rewrite the sentence with the progressive form of the verb. That's what I was talking about. Progressive means it's happening now. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First of all, I think you all can agree with me. Turns is the present tense verb. So if it's progressive, though, you're going to change it and you're going to say, she is turning a light on, is how you will do that. So notice you're not going to say she turns the light on. You're going to make it progressive, which means you're going to add am, is, or are with the ing form of a main verb to create the progressive form. It's right here in your instructions, okay? And we'll look at this one. I won't do it for you, but we'll talk about it. We ride the bus to school. Once again, it's going to be present, so you will say we are riding. Hopefully that explains it and you can understand how to do this and do a good job. You don't have a lot to do in grammar this week, so what you do have to do, please do it well. And you don't have to do the bottom part here if you don't want to. If anybody wants to do it, that would be great. You can go ahead and add a slide and you can use the sentences as a model. You can write a paragraph about a pet or a wild animal. I absolutely would love to read that if you want to do that, but you do not have to. And then the last slide we have here, I thought would be kind of interesting for you guys to do because this one is actually proofreading. And that's one thing I don't think you guys do enough of is go back and look at your work and determine the mistakes that you make. So this is going to be a little bit challenging for you, but if you follow the directions, it shouldn't be too hard. And once again, I'm going to grade this more on effort than I am on everything being exactly right. So hopefully you'll understand. I want to see kind of what people can do if you make the effort. All you have to do is rewrite the sentences based on the information in the parentheses. Correct mistakes in verb tenses and in subject-verb agreement. So this says that this sentence, they want it to be past progressive. So it says, we was cheering for our team at the football game. Okay, we is your subject. Your verb is was cheering. Okay, that's all we really have to look at. The rest of the sentence is going to stay exactly the same. So, and obviously our subject will too. So we're going to put we back. Are we going to say we was? Sometimes you guys say that. It sounds awful. It's not we was. It's going to have to be we were. We're going to leave the ing. We were, I made a mistake in my typing. I'm sorry about that. We were cheering for our team at the football game. So it's not hard, but after you write your sentences, go back and read them and make sure that they sound good to you. Okay, that's all you have to do for grammar this week. I'm assigning the first page for Monday, the second page for Wednesday, the third page for Friday. You can do it as quickly as you want to. Of course, it will be due on Friday. So I hope you all have a great week. And if you have any questions, please just feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. Have a great week, guys. Bye.